Hi everyone, it's Suzanne of Zu's Nutty Concoctions. Welcome to my channel. I'm making a salve with olive oil, coconut oil, maybe a little bit of beeswax. I might add some shea butter too. I've got a jar lying around somewhere that I always forget about. Right now I am showing you a bowl full of dandelion flowers and some plantain that I picked from my neighborhood. I went foraging, and I also have a bit of some dandelion greens here too. Plantain is one of those weeds, innocuous weeds that you'll find beside sidewalks and driveways. They pop out of the asphalt and that. But this herb, or this weed, a lot of people look at it as a weed, actually has a lot of medicinal purposes. Too, I pulled out some of the plantain by the roots because the roots, everything about the plantain is edible and medicinal. Same with the dandelion in there, because dandelion has a lot of medicinal properties as well. So I figure I'll have more bang for my buck. Anyway, I'm going to show you my wrist here and my hands. I've got food allergies, and this is what happens when I cheat. I swell up and I itch. Right now it's not itching, but my hands are swollen. And if this stuff works, you'll be seeing another video with the results. I've got this sitting in cold water. I'm going to strain it and put it through the salad spinner to dry it off, and then I'm going to heat up some oil, and I'm going to steep it in hot oil for however long it takes, and then strain that, and then start making my salve with the ingredients that I mentioned earlier. I've washed and spun all my greens, and I put about 1 liter of oil. It may be too much, maybe too little, but you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I've got my heat on low. I may lower that even a little bit more. So I'm going to put all of this. Oh, I didn't want it to fry. You could hear that frying sound. That's not good. I turned it off because I want this to be a slow steep. I'm going to stir this up. This looks like it's well mixed. I'm going to turn the heat on. Keep it at number 1. There we go, and put a cover on it. There we go, and I'll see you in a couple of hours. Okay, I'm back. It's been about an hour and a half or so. Just as a side note, I decided to leave the cover off just so the liquid from the plants were evaporated. And now I'm going to strain this and put it back on the heat afterwards, and add the rest of the ingredients. I strained my oil mixture here. I pressed all the oil out. That's what was left. I ended up with 1 liter of the oil that I had put in the pot at the start of this process. There we go. I've got the heat on low. Make sure we get everything. This definitely smells different. I put aside about some shea butter and some coconut oil. I've got about half a cup of the shea butter and about a cup of the extra virgin coconut oil. And I'm going to add this in to melt. Okay, so I've added the coconut oil and the shea butter. Now, for the beeswax, what I decided to do was put my block of beeswax in my measuring cup in a pot of hot water, and I'm going to melt it until it gets to the right amount in the measuring cup. I think I'm going to go for, since this is a liter of oil, I think I'm going to put at least half a cup of beeswax. In the meantime, I've turned off the element since everything, the shea butter and the coconut oil has melted already. It's about a quarter cup, so pour that in here. Okay, next step, I am going to add a few drops of the tea tree oil. I don't know if you could see that. I don't know how many drops, but there's probably going to be at least 30 or so drops. I also have lavender oil. I'm probably going to add about the same amount, if not a little more, because I love the smell of lavender. Now, as you're probably well aware, tea tree oil has great medicinal benefits, and so does lavender oil. And they're both antibacterial, which is great for this type of skincare. The next step is I'm going to let this cool and congeal a little bit at room temperature. So I waited a while for it to firm up a bit. It's very creamy. I think it might firm up even more than this. I whipped it a little bit. I don't know if it makes much difference, but I'm going to put it in the jars the way it is now and see what happens. But it's a nice creamy consistency, which is what I want. Get it into a few jars, clean jars. I'm using glass because I think it's better, and after that we're done. Everyone, it's the day after making my ointment. I'm going to show you my hands. I put the salve on last night before going to bed, and I got up in the middle of the night and reapplied it after washing my hands. I'm going to show you my hands. This is my hands dry without anything on it. The biggest difference that I notice is that my skin is peeling, which is not unusual. But it is kind of unusual in the sense that when I'm ultra moisturized, it doesn't peel as much, and my fingertips are really dry before using this salve, and now they're much smoother. The flakiness is gone. And here's my wrist, so I'm going to reapply and see what happens. I'm not as dry on the top of my hands. I still have some redness, but it's not that that burning sensation that I normally get. And like I said, this is due to food allergies. Not fun. Anyway, here's the ointment, and I ended up adding a little bit more beeswax because I still found it too soft. It is oily because of the olive oil and that, but it is a nice ointment. It's an ointment you want to, I guess, put on when you're not doing much, and that, but eventually, you know, it spreads nicely, and I can now smell the lavender more than anything. I think if I were to make this again, I might add less olive oil and more coconut oil, make it a little bit more concentrated. But hey, it's my first time making this, and I love everything in it is natural, especially the plantain and the dandelion. And if you're going to try to make it yourself, oh, please let me know. I'd love to read your comments and if you did anything different, added to it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and please like and share my my video. Bye for now.